There are moments in life that do not tick by on a clock, but rather they strike the soul like a bell. You have felt it recently, a strange pressure, a heavy silence, a sense that something is hovering just above the roof of your house. It is not exactly fear, though it resembles it. It is not exactly excitement, though your heart beats faster when you think about the future. It is the sensation of a threshold. You are standing in a doorway, and you know deep in your bones that the way you have been living, the way your household has been operating, is about to change. We often believe that change requires years of effort, decades of struggle, or a massive external event that forces our hand. But the ancient wisdom and the whispers of the Spirit tell us something different. They tell us that destiny can shift in the blink of an eye, or more specifically, in a focused window of time where human willingness meets divine timing. You have been waiting for a rescue. You have been waiting for the arguments to stop, for the financial drought to end, for the heaviness to lift from your family's chest. What if I told you that the rescue is not coming from the outside, riding on a storm, but is already here, waiting to be unlocked in the silence you have been avoiding? What if the next 30 minutes of your attention could rewrite the energetic blueprint of your home? This is not a promise of magic, it is a promise of alignment. When the atmosphere shifts, everything growing within it changes. And right now, the atmosphere is shifting. If these words are resonating with a quiet part of your soul, there is a structured way to deepen this transition without feeling overwhelmed or lost in the process. It is called prosperity revealed in 3 dimensions. This is not just a collection of ideas, but a guided path designed to help you dismantle the chaos, return to your absolute center, and build a life of genuine abundance and purpose from the inside out. Whether you prefer the deep immersion of reading the ebook or the convenient companionship of listening to the audiobook while you move through your day, the choice is yours. You can find the direct link waiting for you in the pinned comment and in the description below. It is there when you are ready to take the next step. Now let us return to the heart of our exploration, for the next insight is where the true shift begins. The concept of the rescue is often misunderstood. We are conditioned by movies and stories to think of rescue as a dramatic event, a hand reaching down from the sky, a sudden windfall of money, or a miraculous disappearance of all our problems. Because we look for the dramatic, we miss the divine. The rescue that is arriving for you, specifically as we approach this energetic window of early December, is far more profound and far more subtle. It is the rescue of your foundation. Think of your home not just as a building made of brick and wood, but as a living, breathing organism. It has a nervous system, it has a memory. It holds the echoes of every argument, every worry, and every silent prayer you have ever uttered within its walls. For the chosen one, and by this I mean the one in the family who feels the weight of responsibility, the one who breaks the generational curses, the one who is watching this right now, the home is your domain of stewardship. You have felt the burden of this stewardship. You have felt like the captain of a ship in rough waters, trying to keep the crew calm while you navigate a storm you cannot see. The first sign that this rescue is imminent is the exhaustion of your old strategies. Have you noticed that the things you used to do to fix problems are no longer working? The lectures to your children, the budgeting spreadsheets, the late-night worrying, the attempts to control every outcome, they are failing. This failure is not a punishment. It is a signal. It is the universe or the divine gently prying your fingers off the steering wheel. The exhaustion you feel is the precursor to surrender, and surrender is the portal to the shift. This brings us to the mystery of the divine decree. In spiritual traditions, a decree is not a suggestion, it is a law set into motion. The message for this season is that a decree has gone out regarding your household. It is a decree of peace. But for peace to enter, the noise must be confronted. The noise isn't just the television or the traffic outside, it is the noise of fear that has been playing on a loop in the background of your family life. There is a specific window of time opening now. It is a window of 30 minutes, a metaphorical and literal span of time where you are invited to stop doing and start receiving. This sounds counterintuitive. The world tells you that if your house is in trouble, you must work harder. If your finances are tight, you must hustle more. If your relationships are strained, you must talk more. But the spiritual law of the rescue operates on a different frequency. It demands stillness. Why stillness? Because you cannot receive a new download if your operating system is running at 100% capacity on old programs. The rescue is an update to your reality. It is the arrival of messengers, you might call them angels or intuitions or synchronicities, that have been dispatched to your specific address. They are carrying the blueprints for the next season of your life. But they cannot deliver the message if the line is busy. And the line has been very busy. Consider the Atlas complex. Many of you carry this. It is the belief that if you relax for even 1 second, the sky will fall on your family. You believe you are the sole pillar holding up the roof. This belief is noble, but it is also a block. It blocks the divine support that wants to enter. When you insist on carrying it all, you leave no room for the miraculous. The rescue begins when you put the weight down, even for just 30 minutes, and dare to trust that the ground will hold you. This is where it gets even more mysterious. The rescue is often disguised as a delay or a disruption. You might be frustrated that a certain door hasn't opened yet. You might be angry that a specific financial breakthrough is late. But look closer. What if that delay was a form of protection? What if the no you heard last month was actually a shield preventing you from walking into a trap? The rescue often happens in the dark before we ever see the light. It is the close call you didn't even know you had. It is the strength that appeared in your veins just when you thought you would collapse. If this perspective on delay and protection is shifting something in your chest, consider subscribing to the channel. We walk this path of hidden wisdom together, peeling back the layers of the ordinary to find the sacred. Now, let us deepen our understanding of the atmosphere shift. Your home has an atmosphere. You know this because you can feel the tension when you walk into a room after an argument, even if no words are spoken. You can feel the heaviness of financial stress hanging in the air like humidity. This atmosphere dictates the future of everyone living in it. It affects your sleep, your digestion, your creativity, and your children's sense of safety. The promise of this moment is that the atmosphere is being scrubbed. Imagine a heavy fog lifting. This is what is happening in the spiritual dimension of your household. But for the fog to lift, the heat of the sun must penetrate it. That sun is your attention. We need to talk about the pruning. This is a difficult concept for the ego, but a nourishing one for the soul. For your home to be rescued, certain things must leave. This is the part of the process that causes the most fear. We cling to old habits, old relationships, and old patterns because they are familiar, even if they are toxic. We prefer a familiar hell to an unfamiliar heaven. But the rescue requires space. You may notice in the coming days a sudden distance growing between you and certain people. You may notice a sudden disinterest in activities that used to consume your time. You may even notice physical things in your house breaking or needing repair. Do not panic. This is the pruning. The old structure is making way for the new. The universe is clearing the deck. There is a beautiful metaphor in alchemy about the calcination process, burning away the dross to reveal the gold. Your family has been through the fire. You have felt the heat. But the purpose of the fire was not to destroy you. It was to reveal the gold of your bond, the gold of your resilience. The rescue is the moment the fire is turned off and the cooling begins. The shape has been cast. Now it must set. This brings us to the role of the chosen one in the family. You are the thermostat, not the thermometer. A thermometer simply reflects the temperature of the room. If the house is anxious, the thermometer reads anxiety. A thermostat sets the temperature. When you shift, the house shifts. This is why the rescue starts with you. It starts with your nervous system. It starts with your breath. Science tells us about mirror neurons and co-regulation. If one person in a tribe remains calm, grounded, and regulated, their nervous system broadcasts a signal of safety that others subconsciously pick up. Your calm is contagious. Your faith is magnetic. By accepting this 30-minute rescue, this appointment with stillness, you are literally broadcasting a new signal to your spouse, your children, and your future. You are telling the field of energy around you, the war is over. We are safe. But here is the challenge. We are addicted to the war. We are addicted to the struggle because it gives us an identity. Who are you if you aren't the one fixing everything? Who are you if you aren't the one worrying? This is the identity shift that must happen. You are being invited to step into the archetype of the sovereign. The sovereign does not run around putting out fires. The sovereign sits on the throne of their own center and commands order through presence. If this idea of shifting from the fixer to the sovereign speaks to your weary heart, please leave a like on this video. It helps this signal of peace reach other households that are ready for the shift. Now let us examine the causes of the chaos more closely. Why has it been so hard? Why does it feel like you are swimming upstream? One cause is the cycle of reaction. Something happens, a bill arrives, a child acts out, and you react. That reaction creates a ripple, which causes another reaction. You are trapped in a ping-pong match of cause and effect. The rescue is a pause button. It breaks the cycle. It introduces a gap between the stimulus and the response. In that gap, freedom lives. Another cause is the unspoken grief. Many households are carrying grief that has never been named. Grief for the life you thought you'd have. Grief for the versions of yourselves that you had to leave behind. This unacknowledged grief sits in the corners of the room like dust. The angels of rescue are here to sweep the dust out. They do this by bringing a spirit of compassion. Suddenly, you might look at your partner and not see the person who annoys you, but the person who is also struggling, also trying, also wounded. Compassion is the solvent that dissolves the walls between us. There is also the cause of misplaced worship. We worry about what we worship. If you are constantly worried about money, you are, in a strange way, worshiping the lack of it. You are giving it all your attention, all your energy, all your focus. The rescue calls you to redirect your worship, your attention, back to the source of supply, not the shadow of lack. It asks you to look at the open door, not the closed wall. And perhaps the deepest cause is the illusion of separation. You feel alone in this. You feel that no one sees your sacrifice. But the message of this season is, you are seen, you are known, you are named. The two angels mentioned in the ancient texts, messengers of presence and power, are not generic. They are specific. They know the layout of your home. They know the sound of your cry. As we move toward the path of awakening, we must talk about the practical application of this 30-minute shift. How do you actually do it? How do you claim this rescue? It begins with a decision to stop the noise. For 30 minutes, you must turn off the external inputs. No news, no scrolling, no background noise. You must create a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does the spirit. When you create a space of silence, God rushes in to fill it. In this silence, you may feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will race. It will remind you of the laundry, the debts, the arguments. Let it race. Do not fight it. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a river, watching the debris float by. You are not the debris. You are the witness. Then you must perform the act of release. You must consciously, verbally, or in writing, release the burden of the outcome. You say, "I am no longer the general manager of the universe. I resign from the position of controlling the uncontrollable." This resignation is the greatest victory you will ever achieve. It is the moment the weight lifts. If you are ready to make that resignation and find true power, turn on notifications for this channel. We will be exploring the tools of the sovereign in depth in the coming weeks. The next step on the path is radical gratitude. This is not the polite gratitude of saying thank you for a gift. This is the warrior's gratitude. It is thanking the walls of your home for sheltering you, thanking the food in your fridge, thanking the breath in your lungs. Gratitude is a frequency. It is the frequency of reception. You cannot receive a new reality while broadcasting a signal of complaint. The rescue lands on the helipad of gratitude. You will know the rescue has arrived not by a thunderclap, but by a sudden softness. You will feel your shoulders drop. You will feel your jaw unclench. You will look at a problem that terrified you yesterday and feel a strange sense of detachment, a feeling that this too shall pass, and this too is being handled. This softness is the presence of the divine. There is a powerful concept called the 30-minute transformation. It suggests that it takes approximately 20 to 30 minutes for the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, to leave the bloodstream once the trigger is removed. By giving yourself this window of absolute peace, you are literally flushing the poison out of your biological system. You are resetting your baseline. When you re-enter the family dynamic after this reset, you are a different person. You are slower, wiser, deeper. And here is the secret. The family changes when you change. You don't need to convince them to change. You don't need to lecture them. You just need to be the new frequency. They will entrain to you. They will feel the safety emanating from you, and they will, without knowing why, begin to calm down. The arguments will lose their fuel. The tension will lose its wire. This is the divine strategy. It is the strategy of winning without fighting. It is the strategy of the open hand, not the clenched fist. We must also address the financial rescue. Many of you are watching this with a pit in your stomach regarding money. The rescue is here for that too. But money is energy. It flows where there is circulation, not congestion. Fear is congestion. Hoarding is congestion. The rescue comes when you open the flow, perhaps by giving a small amount, perhaps by blessing the bills as you pay them, perhaps by simply trusting that you are supported. When the spiritual atmosphere of the home shifts from survival to trust, the resources begin to show up. The lucky breaks start happening again. The rescue is also about time. You feel you have run out of time. You feel you are behind. But in the divine economy, time is elastic. God can restore the years the locusts have eaten. A single moment of divine favor can do what 10 years of human striving could not. This 30-minute window is a portal into that elasticity. It is a wormhole to a new timeline. As we approach the dates of December 6th and 7th, treat them as markers, not as days to fear, but as days to celebrate the turning of the tide. The angels are at the gate. The decree has been signed. The rescue is not a maybe, it is a done. But you must agree with it. You must sign for the package. How do you sign? You sign with your amen. You sign with your belief. You sign by acting as if help has already arrived. What would you do differently today if you knew with 100% certainty that the problem was solved? Would you sleep better? Would you laugh more? Would you be kinder? Do those things now. That is how you collapse the timeline. That is how you bring the future into the present. Share your experience in the comments. Which burden are you ready to lay down today? Your declaration gives permission for others to do the same. Let us seal this understanding with a closing prayer for the home. Father, Source, Divine Presence, we stand at the threshold of our own homes, recognizing that they are holy ground. We acknowledge that we have tried to carry the weight of our families in our own strength, and we are weary. We accept the rescue. We accept the help that is unseen but real. We open the doors of our hearts and the doors of our houses to the messengers of peace. We command the noise to cease. We command the fear to bow. We declare that this home is a sanctuary of restoration, not a battlefield of survival. We thank you for the shift that is happening right now in the marrow of our bones and the foundations of our lives. We step into the new timeline. We step into the quiet. We are ready. As you move forward from this video, remember the framework we discussed. Create silence daily. Practice surrender hourly. Recognize the quiet rescues that happen in the margins of your day, and live as a person who has already been set free. The rescue was never about a loud explosion that fixes the world. It was always about the quiet realization that you are and never were alone in the house. The guest you have been waiting for is already at the table. Sit down, eat, rest. The heavy lifting is being done for you. And if you ever feel the noise creeping back in, if you feel the old panic rising, return to this 30-minute window. Return to the breath. Return to the center. The door is always open. The rescue is always now. Now take a deep breath. Inhale the new beginning. Exhale the old story. The shift is complete. The work is done. Go in peace. But before you go, realize that this feeling of peace is fragile if not cultivated. It is like a small flame in a windy room. You must cup your hands around it. You must protect it. This is why the path of awakening is a discipline, not just an event. Think of the garden of the soul. Your home is a garden. For years, perhaps, weeds have been allowed to grow. Weeds of resentment, weeds of neglect, weeds of busyness. You have been so busy trying to build a fence around the garden that you forgot to water the flowers. The rescue is the rain. It is the gentle, soaking rain that softens the hard earth. When the earth is hard, the water runs off. It cannot penetrate. This is why hearts that are hardened by cynicism or bitterness cannot receive the blessing. The 30-minute practice of stillness is the tilling of the soil. It breaks up the hard crust of, I know how this works, and nothing ever changes for me. It opens the cracks so the rain can get to the roots. And what are the roots? The roots are your core beliefs. Do you believe you are worthy of a peaceful home? Do you believe you are allowed to be happy, even if the world is chaotic? Do you believe that good things can happen to you without you forcing them? These are the roots that need the water. The angels of rescue are gardeners. They are here to help you pull the weeds. But you must be willing to let go of the weeds. Sometimes we love our weeds because they are ours. We love our stories of victimhood. We love our complaints. They give us something to talk about. The rescue asks, do you want to be healed, or do you just want to be heard? If you choose to be healed, the conversation changes. You stop talking about the problem and start talking about the solution. You stop talking about the darkness and start lighting candles. This is the new identity for your home. It is a home of light. Even if the electricity is cut off, the light remains, because the light is you. Even if the furniture is old, the elegance remains, because the elegance is the spirit of love that dwells there. You are building a legacy. A legacy is not what you leave for your family, it is what you leave in them. If you leave them $1 million, but a nervous system wrecked by anxiety, you have left them nothing. If you leave them nothing but a spirit of unshakable faith and a capacity for deep peace, you have left them a kingdom. This rescue is about the kingdom. It is about establishing a zone of sovereignty where the chaos of the world cannot enter. It is about drawing a line in the sand and saying, here we rest, here we love, here we trust. The divine decree mentioned at the beginning is simply this: it is finished. The struggle for survival is finished. The era of thriving has begun. But thriving looks different than you think. Thriving is not about excess, it is about sufficiency. It is about knowing that what you have is enough and who you are is enough. So as the dates of December 6th and 7th pass, watch for the signs. Watch for the subtle shifts. A child laughing for no reason. A spouse offering a cup of tea. A sudden idea that solves a problem you've had for months. These are the footprints of the rescue. Do not ignore them, celebrate them, magnify them. What you focus on expands. If you focus on the rescue expands until it fills every room of your house. You are the chosen one, not because you are better, but because you are awake. You are the watchman on the wall. You have seen the dawn coming while others are still sleeping. And because you have seen it, you can announce it. The sun is rising on this house. Say it. The sun is rising on this house. Feel the truth of those words. They are not poetry. They are physics. The energetic rotation has happened. You are facing the light. If this message has defined the future of your home, do not let it end here. Leave a comment declaring, "I receive the stillness. I receive the strength for my home." This is your public agreement with what heaven has begun. Remember, your rescue was never about noise. It was always about nearness. And as you walk away from this screen, carry that nearness with you. Let it be the perfume you wear. Let it be the sound of your footsteps. You are the rescue you have been waiting for, because the divine lives in you. The 30 minutes are up. The shift is locked in. Now, go and live it. But wait, there is one final secret: the afterglow. After a profound spiritual shift, there is a period of integration. It is like the moments after a deep meditation or a long healing sleep. You are sensitive. The skin of your soul is new. Be gentle with yourself in the coming days. Do not rush back into the noise. Protect your peace like a newborn child. If someone tries to drag you back into an old argument, smile and step back. You are not in that timeline anymore. If a bill arrives that scares you, place your hand on it and say, "This too is covered." You are operating from a new set of rules. The rescue is ongoing. It is a daily choice. Every morning, you have a 30-minute window to choose again. Will I choose the noise, or will I choose the rescue? Will I choose the fear, or will I choose the trust? You know the answer. You have always known the answer. Now you have the permission to live it. The angels are not leaving. They are settling in. They are taking up residence in the corners of your living room, in the hallway, in the kitchen. They are guarding the perimeter. You can sleep now. You can really sleep. The watch has been relieved. The divine is on duty. Your home is safe. Your future is secure. And you, beloved, are free. This is the promise. This is the decree. This is the reality. So be it, and so it is. If you found value in this journey today, consider sharing this video with a friend or family member who needs this specific rescue. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is the key to a cage they didn't know they could open. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your trust. Until we speak again, listen to the silence. It has so much to tell you. The rescue is here. Characters, with spaces, 5,284. Video title, script. And because it is here, we must talk about what happens tomorrow. Because the rescue is not just an event, it is a territory you must learn to inhabit. There is a phenomenon that often occurs after a great shift, something the mystics and the neuroscientists agree upon, though they use different names. The mind, having been addicted to the noise of survival for so long, begins to panic in the silence of safety. It is the phantom limb of your old struggles. You might wake up tomorrow morning, look around at your peaceful home, and feel a sudden, inexplicable urge to find a problem. You might scan your mental horizon, looking for the fire, looking for the threat, simply because your nervous system has memorized the chemistry of cortisol. This is the most critical moment of your awakening. Do not mistake this withdrawal symptom for intuition. Do not mistake the echo of your old anxiety for a new warning. When the silence comes, it can feel heavy, it can feel unfamiliar. You might find yourself asking, "What am I forgetting? What is wrong?" The answer is, nothing is wrong. You are simply detoxing from the addiction to chaos. Deep prosperity, the kind we explore in Prosperity Revealed in 3 Dimensions, requires you to expand your capacity to tolerate goodness. It sounds strange, doesn't it, that we would need to tolerate goodness? But consider how many times you have sabotaged a moment of perfect peace because it felt too good to be true. Consider how often you have interrupted joy with a worry just to bring your emotional state back to a familiar baseline of stress. The rescue has cleared the field. Now, you must stand in the center of that field and refuse to plant new thorns. This brings us to the architecture of your new life. If the divine decree has cleared the ground, what are we building? We are building a life based on the 3 pillars of true alignment: clarity, capacity, and coherence. Clarity is the refusal to engage with confusion. It is the discipline of the no. When a thought arises that says, "You are not safe," clarity looks at it and says, "That is an old thought. It does not belong in this new house." You do not fight the thought. You simply do not serve it tea. You let it pass through the back door. Capacity is your ability to hold the light without cracking. Imagine your soul is a glass. If you pour the ocean into a thimble, it overflows and is wasted. The rescue brings an ocean of grace. Your job now is to become a larger vessel. You do this by breathing into the discomfort of peace. When things go right, do not brace for the impact of them going wrong. Instead, soften your belly, open your hands, say, "I can hold this too. I can hold this joy." And coherence? Coherence is when your heart, your mind, and your actions are all telling the same story. For years, you may have lived in incoherence, praying for peace but acting from urgency, asking for abundance but speaking of lack. The rescue aligns you. Now, when you speak, your cells agree. When you move, your spirit approves. If you are realizing right now that you have been addicted to the struggle, that you have been uncomfortable with your own peace, let me know in the comments. Write, "I am expanding my capacity for joy." Let this be your second agreement today. But this is where it gets even more mysterious. As you stabilize in this new frequency, you will notice the mirror effect. The world around you will begin to rearrange itself to match your new stillness.